What's going on, everybody? It's Friday, so you know what time it is. It's another episode of TFG Tonight. I am your host, Lamar, and it's time to talk politics. And not only politics, but it's time to talk politics and racism in America. I know it's tough, but we're going to talk about it. I have some guests this Friday, and I think let's go ahead and bring those guests in. Let's go and get this conversation rocking and rolling, all right? Let's see who we got. We got Mr. Watts, how's it going? Mr. Ricky Walter, how's it going? Mr. Marcus, how's it going?
What's going on?
It's going wonderful.
Salute.
You gentlemen doing all right? This good Friday, this good Juneteenth.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying to represent Juneteenth in the background. Can you see it? Trying to
Very
represent
nice. Very nice.
Looking good.
Trying to show my black pride, if you will.
Happy Independence Day, fellas.
I'm trying to. Oh, yeah. That's our independence. Yeah. Happy
Absolutely.
Independence Day.
Right. So that's the first thing I really want to talk about. Yes, just a few of us this week. Normally we have a full house, and I really just want to talk just calmly this week about some of these transpiring that's going on. The first thing being racism in America, and also Juneteenth. And I just want to give my 2 cents on what I'm seeing right now in the world. And if you agree, if you don't agree, I definitely want to hear y'all's point of view as well as it relates to racism in America. We had a great show on Wednesday on the Ricky Walter show, and they talked about it and how it was back in the 60s and 50s and the 70s. I for one think that we've really progressed as of late. And I want to say that with this, and I heard somebody very wise say this, that with this new generation, microwave generation, they like to see real fast progress, right? And it seems like with the protests and with the things that have happened in the past few months, we've seen some fast progress. I think we've taken a few steps. What do you guys think as it relates to racism? We start right below me. Marcus, what are your thoughts?
Well, obviously, I was not alive in the 60s, but what I will say is I've been watching documentaries lately, and it's looking kind of similar to the 60s. It's like history repeats itself. What I will say a big difference I've seen is it's visibly a lot more white people that are out in the streets moving alongside us
Yeah.
or feeling even comfortable about coming out. And if you notice, you got Confederate monuments coming out. The
Yeah.
NCAA just banned any championship games from Mississippi. Like, I think things are changing. So I'm gonna have to agree with you. We're pushing forward.
Right on. Okay. I like that. And let's go right next to me. I want to hear just a little bit older than us, our senior, if you will, who's seen a lot more than we have in his lifetime. Mr. Watts, what are your thoughts? Do you feel like we've progressed, or we're progressing pretty rapidly the past few months versus the kind of the snail's pace, if you will, we've done over in the past? Hey, Tim.
Well, that's an excellent point. And first of all, thank you guys for inviting me. Appreciate it, especially on this great day of our independence. So
Right.
just want to put that out there. I say this: we are still making baby steps. Racism is nothing new. I've seen it. My parents seen it. Of course, their parents seen it. It's nothing new. But the good news about it is that, Marcus, you said it well. You know, we have a lot of Caucasian that is coming out and they saying, hey guys, enough is enough. Because in my time, in my generation, this is really the first time that I have seen white folks coming out and saying, hell to the no, enough is enough, you know, and that's what's really going to make the difference.
Yeah.
Because if we doing it ourselves,
Mhm.
we're going to get small airplay, we're going to get small television show, but when white folks do it, unfortunately have to be that way,
Right.
then the world going to see it and it's going to be on a bigger level. Unfortunately, it got to be that way right now. So the deal is this: It's nothing new. It's getting better. However, I'm saying this, and y'all mark my word, it's probably gonna get worse before it get better. That's what I say.
Ooh.
All right. How about you, Rick? You want to chime in on that?
Yeah, I mean, I pretty much agree with pretty much everything that you guys both said. I think that it relates to the young generation. I feel like every generation, past and in the future, want things to change right then because they're tired of going through the nonsense. I don't think this generation is any different than the generation in the '60s when they tried to exact change. They weren't talking about change in 20 years from now. They were talking about change right then.
Yeah.
And it's the same now. And so I don't think it's really any different. I will say that, yeah, I'm encouraged that, because you're right. We're all American citizens, so it takes everybody. It takes a group as a whole to speak up on the behalf of a other marginalized group. And when you have when you have white people, when you have Hispanic people, when you have Native Americans and Asian, when they were all speaking, saying, listen, this is a big issue. And we need to all take a look at what's going on. When you have people as a whole come together and try to exact change, as you see, like Marcus has said, monuments are coming down. You know, you have huge companies making remarks about Black Lives Matters in positive way. Google, Facebook, the list goes on. Netflix, and so it's a great time to exact change.
Be alive.
Yeah, it's a great time to be alive.
And I want
It's
to
always a great time to be alive,
I
right?
see a comment here. Tam says, until we end and abolish racism and biases, we will always have a fight. But I love the way the youth are asking for immediate change. Me too. I have to co-sign on that. It seems like, and this was a joke in a comedy routine that Rick and I were talking about a few days ago. Michael Che from Saturday Night Live said that back in the day, they were all we were asking for was civil rights. Just for you to be civil. Just be civil. Not even equal, just civility.
Right.
And I feel like that's something that leaps and bounds above what's being asked now. I think that young people now, even young white kids, they're not asking for us to be treated civilly. We're asking, no, treat us equal. We're demanding equal rights, and you have no choice. And there's still a few people out there that we keep seeing online that are fighting against it tooth and nail, but they're going to become the minority in that, because you're going to get left behind, counsel, whatever we do nowadays, because the majority of people, whether their hearts are in the right place, that not getting on board with it is going to affect your pocketbook, it's going to affect your everyday life if you don't get on board with it.
Yes.
And there's nothing wrong with that. To me, that's how it should be. You got to call out the hypocrisy right there in the face. You can't, have us buy your stuff, cater to us, and then turn around and not respect us, not advocate for us, because at the end of the day, we are all American citizens. I keep saying that. We're not separate from white people.
Yeah.
We are American citizens. All of us, we got the same rights. And so you got to call it out. So listen, I know sometimes this cancel culture is a little extreme sometimes, but when it comes to racism, you got to hold these people accountable, man. You really do.
Well, the deal is this, fellas, because Black people really wasn't ridden into the Constitution. So a lot of folks is still holding on to that. We still really don't have any civil rights or any rights. And unfortunately, once again, and I think I mentioned this before, that's why in some communities you have protect and serve. In other communities, you have patrol and control.
Oh.
So the problem is, once again, if we actually have these rights, then they would treat us the way they treat everyone else. Because communities or power, affluent communities, they don't have these issues.
Mhm.
But when we go down to some of the southern places, places where Hispanic or blacks live, where there's no power in that community, then they're gonna run amok. They're gonna do what they want to do, and and I guess rightfully so. Until we actually start getting some power, we start voting with that one voice. Black folks say, "Look, if we ain't gonna get the power monetarily, let's all get together collectively."
Yes,
I
the
think
collective effort.
one of the
Absolutely.
things with that though, with the voting thing, it's almost kind of scary to me when we say like when it's like a lot of black people together and we say make sure you vote, because I feel like there's a lot more of a division now as it relates to black folks and how they vote. I don't think we're a monolith where everybody's going to go vote the same way. There is more and more conservatives or more and more people that are fed up with the Democratic Party or that just choose to dare to be different and try something different, even if they don't know what's going on, what the ideology of the Democratic Party or the Republican Party is. They're just choosing to be different, and for some reason now. So it's kind of scary to me when we say make sure you go out and vote, because you're also telling people that's going to vote against you to go out and vote.
Well,
Yeah, that's
I
true.
would say, Lamar, go ahead. Go ahead.
No, I'm saying that's true. Go ahead.
Well, I would say those people who want to be different, they were going to vote anyway, right? You know, they that's the whole point. You know, they want to be able to show like, you know, I think outside the box. But you know, it has to be. We have to be a little more right now, a little more aware of what's really going on in the White House and with this administration. And there's a lot of facades going on.
Man.
You know, there and Donald Trump does this a lot. He tries to tally or say things that he's done for the black community. You know, we know him by heart now. You know, because he says so much. Right? You know, he says these things, but to me it's a facade. It's a way to what they call they call it like Kansas City's switch, where you look in one way, got you looking this way, but I'm doing something over here.
Misdirection.
Bait and switch.
Yeah.
Bait and switch or misdirection.
Yeah. And so you know, and that's what it is. You know, because his rhetoric says something totally different.
Yeah.
The administration, you know, what they stand for says something totally different. So I think, you know, when we have these people who want to be different, you know, let's be different with another administration. You know, not this administration is a little different.
I can agree with you. I can agree with you on that. I can agree with you on that because I don't think there's anything that Trump can do right now that would make most people choose to vote for people that have decided not to. I wouldn't vote for him at this point, no matter what he does. And I'm not per se a Democrat or a Republican. I would not vote for him just because of he's not bringing the country together and he's intentionally.
No, try the other one, please.
Yeah.
And
I think. Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead, Mark. Go ahead.
Yeah. I think now in politics is interesting, man. I think that these days, the day of the politician is almost over. You know what I'm saying? Like all the rhetoric and not really knowing what you got going. Like you saying the blank statements and something else is going by behind closed doors. I can take it locally. We have to, you know, ask of these elected officials, ask of the people who want our vote. We have to ask, what are you going to be doing? We have to invite them out to our events and ask them real questions. We had an event with Movement Mentality last weekend, and we invited an elected official out and also someone who's going to be running in the runoff. Jasmine Crockett, I'll go and say it. I approve of this message. She came out and tackled the critical questions of the community. Police reform, equality and justice. Why is it important to vote for her position? Why is visibility important in this time? If we got to keep on asking where Trump at, why he walk out and give an arrogant speech on the Rose Garden and leave. And then what comes on my TV is Joe Biden. Yeah, you see? And Joe Biden come on my screen now. You know, I'm not heavy on Joe Biden, but when he came on the screen, the words that he said to me in that moment of what just happened, what just transpired in the George Floyd situation captivated me because it was like he was real, he was visible, okay, yeah, I know what you've done in the past, but if you really think about his track record in the last 10 years, you're seeing he's trying to improve.
Yeah.
He's working towards improvement. So in our current situation, who can even be a bridge to get us to the other side? But I think when we get to the other side, it'll be the other side of realness and no more politicians. We're in the age where now the real people will be the people who create change. The politicians will be just a party, but the candidates will be real people who you could touch and are visible and have a visible plan.
I like that. I
Good point.
man,
Yeah.
I like it.
And can I pick it back off something?
Good stuff.
It's
Yeah.
Let's move on to the next topic. We
Okay.
spent a lot of good time on that one. That was good stuff. And I feel like we're all on the same page with I think most of America at this point is we're like just get this fool out of here so we can move the country forward.
Yep.
Amy Klobuchar, who I'm not a huge fan of.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just not. But she ran for president
Mm-hmm.
and from Minnesota, and she was on the short list for vice president for Biden. Well, this morning, I believe, or yesterday, late yesterday, she dropped out. And I love her quote, though. Her quote is, in this time, we need a black woman on the ticket to push the country forward. And I agree 1,000%. And I have a lot of respect for her for doing that. Because if she would have gotten there, she would have got a lot of hate mail from me.
Yeah.
I would have ticked out.
Yeah.
So I feel like Joe has no choice at this point but to choose a black woman vice president, although he still is refusing to say it. I think he's just trying to be diplomatic, I guess. But if he does not, I think he's going to have a lot of problems with getting elected, to be totally honest with you. What do you think, Mr. Watts?
Well, first of all, I think Klobuchar did that. I think she have a hidden agenda.
Uh-oh.
Because she got in trouble.
Yep. She want to be.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I'm just saying she want to be attorney general.
Right. She got in trouble because she had a lot of things like this happen during her watch. So what was she going to say? So I think she had to try to soften the blow or say, you know what, guys, this is what we need. Yeah, you're right. But you should have been saying that, several years ago when you was allowing these murderers under your watch to go free. So now you want to say this. So I'm not buying her. I'm buying what she's saying, but she ain't selling me the Kool-Aid. Right. I'm buying the bottle, but she can keep the Kool-Aid.
Right on.
So but what she's saying is on point. And apparently she has someone that's in her ear and telling her that this is what needs to happen, especially during a time such as this.
Yeah.
I think it's important to have either a person on color or a person that at least understand our plight. So to me, do they have to necessarily be black? No. But do they have to understand what we're talking about, where we're coming from, and our plight? And absolutely.
That's fair.
Let's block out that last part. I'm about to edit that out. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, I know.
See, this is the reality of the situation, and I agree with everything Unc said. The reality of the situation is the number that I'm gonna throw out is 8. And 8 is the representation of the amount of years that Klobuchar did not prosecute officers from 1999 to 2007. More than 2 dozen police encounters, and she chose not to prosecute any of them.
Right on.
So I feel like in her case, she had somebody like Trump. Trump didn't know what Juneteenth was. Right. He was walking around. He was ready to go to his rally, and somebody was like, "Oh, Mr. President, you can't do it on that day." He had somebody around who I heard was a Secret Service agent who told him the importance of that day. And I feel like that's the same thing Klobuchar had. She got a hidden agenda, and somebody said, "This is what you need to say." Now, we don't know what her agenda is. Maybe it's the one day run for president or attorney general. It's something, but we are going to, and it's not like Biden. It wasn't 40 years ago, 50 years ago. This was recently. I was still in high school. You see what I'm saying? So it could have been me. it could have been me out there got killed by police, and you
Right.
got somebody reviewing the case and saying it's justified. So yeah, all I can say is I appreciate you. You know what I'm saying, for the salute on a black woman. I agree with you, but I can't support you as of right now on any position until you prove over these next few years that you are even worthy of holding the type of office where black lives, you know what I'm saying,
Absolutely.
will be on the forefront.
I agree.
I agree. I'm about to go to you, Rick. I just want to add, I definitely feel like she wants to AG. Was she AG in Minnesota?
She was she? I believe so.
I think she wants the AG role. And if we start seeing her out with Kamala Harris, kind of pushing Kamala and doing little things with Kamala, trying to push Kamala into that role, because if she don't get AG, if Kamala don't be VP, she gonna be AG. This is not even. She gonna be AG if she's not VP, in my opinion.
I agree with that. The AG, yeah, that's probably the look.
Watch, and Klobuchar gonna be going out with Kamala now. Watch, trying to push her so she can get that AG role. All right, Rick, what you got?
Well, I think she'll be a bad AG, especially
Ooh.
what Marcus is saying, and so I don't know if that would be a smart pick for AG. I would say that I think. Can you hear me, Lamar?
Yeah, I can. I have to lean forward. My computer low.
I think that it don't really matter because she was never going to be picked as vice president anyway. So it don't matter whether she came out. It's good that she said what she said about a black woman, but she was never going to get the vice president position. That role is going to be for one of the top black women that we've said.
Right.
Kamala, Mayor, what's her name? Mayor of Atlanta.
Keisha Lance Bottoms.
You got Val Demings. You got what's her name? Governor, the one who lost in
Stacey Abrams.
Stacey Abrams.
It's weird to be Biden Bottoms as the ticket though. Biden Bottoms, I don't know. I don't think she's in the run.
So I don't really think Amy really was ever really truly in the running. I don't really think. I think like I said, it was great what she said, but it really didn't matter for her. She's out. She's out anyway. Right. You never had a chance. So I think President, like my grandpa said on Wednesday on the Ricky Walters show, that he don't have a choice. He got to pick a black.
I don't think he does.
Yeah, he don't got a choice.
Right.
A lot of people saying they're not going to vote for him if he don't, or they're not going to vote at all if he don't.
Yeah, he don't have a choice. That's silly. You should vote whether he pick a black woman or not, because
I'm just playing. I'm still going to vote.
It's so much at stake. So those saying that
I'm gonna throw up after I do it, but I'm gonna do
it.
Yeah.
All right, so we've gotten to the last couple of minutes of the show. We sticking to our 30-minute time today. But I want to ask one last question. Brenton, who's normally on the show, one of our regulars, he asked the question on his Facebook today. He said, if you could choose any former president to come back for 4 more years, who would you pick and why? Mr. Watts, will go with you, and then let's go to Marcus, then let's go to Rick, and then I'll end it, and we'll finish this thing up.
Oh, man. I have to say JFK, man. And I'll tell you why. JFK was doing the right thing when the right thing wasn't popular to do. It's pretty simple to that. Mine's cut and dry. No elaborate speech. No long wind like Marcus Turner. My nephew over there. But no,
I've been holding it in.
Yeah, there you go. But that's what I have, man. Go ahead, fellas.
Okay, that was I would say that was a good pick. I got 2, and it will be a run to the end. I'm gonna tell you why. LBJ, and I know that sounds crazy. And my second one would be, of course, I'm sorry, my first one would be Barack Obama. And my second one, LBJ. Barack, because how he can speak to the moment. I mean, his speech at the moment was game changing. But LBJ, because he was kind of forced, but he was willing to listen. We all seen the pictures where he was chilling with King in the White House, acting like he wasn't paying attention. But change happened under LBJ. Things got done, good and bad. But we ultimately get civil rights under LBJ. So I would say either LBJ or Barack.
Well, I'll have to say this. LBJ kind of like a Larry Onion, man. You keep pulling it back, man. You know. You think you'll get something good out of that, but pulling these layers back, man.
Yeah.
DJ, we asking if we could pick any president to come back for 4 years, who would we choose? Do you have anyone in mind that you would go with?
Of course, Barack.
Yeah.
I figured you were going to say Barack. Why? Because he can bring the country together.
I mean, it just seems like people have a better liking to Barack. You know, that when he speaks, people actually listen to what he says, unlike our current president.
Right.
And he just the way. I mean, he just very. I mean, he really didn't help us out when he was in office, but you know, for some reason, people have they'll listen to what he does. So I think he's just a better, like a better choice if you bring anybody back, him or Clinton, I guess. So
I can go with that. Rick, what you got?
I kind of have to agree with Marcus and Mr. Watts. I know you don't. I think LBJ, he did some stuff that was extremely unpopular. He lost the South because he went for civil rights, and for somebody who were in the mix of trying to get elected for the first time, to worry about losing a big part at that time of his electoral college, then to me that speaks volumes of saying, listen, I'm really, because we all thought, from all the documentaries and the books, they all thought LBJ was a racist.
Yeah.
He went in and actually did some change, but for this moment, for this time, it has to be Barack Obama.
Yeah.
Nobody really speaks the way he speaks. I have to disagree. I think Barack did a lot for African Americans and just a lot for the country. And I think now we're starting to see a lot, the difference between the two when it comes to social issues and social change. DACA.
We're going to talk about DACA, but we ain't got time to talk about it. We're talk about DACA.
That's Barack Obama
On Monday.
I think Joe Biden has a chance to be LBJ.
Next LBJ.
Interesting.
I mean, that's a good thing.
Alive, you got to be in his Biden. Kamala Harris will be the next LBJ. Shahar said JFK. I'm gonna go with Ronald Reagan. I mean Clinton.
Ooh, you said Reagan. I was like, I might got to log off now.
I was about to hit that.
Okay, you say you will go with Clinton?
I'm going with Clinton, economy.
I know you better be talking about George Clinton.
I think the bar is so low now for indiscretions. I'm looking over that. I'm looking at economy. Me, not being a Democrat, being a more of a fiscal conservative, not a Republican, but fiscal conservative. Economy was strong, I feel like, at that time. And I ain't gonna say Reagan, I'm gonna say Clinton. And I'm gonna stick with that.
You would have said Reagan? That's even an option?
Yeah, right. Reagan.
I would
just
say
wow.
Unpopular.
Just wow.
This is unpopular opinion.
Yes,
Clinton had a lot
just
to do
show.
with
I'm just gonna say wow.
Well,
I didn't. I said Clinton, officially Clinton.
He had a lot to do with the 2008 financial collapse. I'm just gonna say that.
What'd you say, Rick? What'd you say?
I said Clinton had a lot to do with the 2008 financial collapse. They didn't have a chance. They should have regulated a lot of that stuff when they had a chance, and they didn't. And it came back to hunt them about 10 years later.
I like him. I think he'd be able to bridge the country back together.
He can do that.
And he would probably live through the 4 years. So I go with him. I wanted to say Abraham Lincoln, but he probably get assassinated for a second time. So can't come on. You can't do this when you come back. So we don't want to have to miss out on that. All right, so we're gonna end this thing to talk about Juneteenth.
Uh-oh.
Can y'all see I got Juneteenth on the plane back here?
Yes, sir.
Our president, y'all's president, said that he made it famous he said that he made Juneteenth famous. In addition to that, we got Ancient Mama stuff being changed, Uncle Ben stuff being changed, rebranded. We're gonna finish it out on that, and we'll be done. We're right at the 30-minute mark. What are y'all thoughts on all this stuff being rebranded? Should it have been done earlier? Is it going to make a difference? Does it matter? Do we care? What the monuments being taken down? Do we care about any of this? Let's start with you, DJ. What's your thoughts?
I'm gonna let y'all go because I got so many thoughts.
Hey, Rick, Rick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll go ahead.
No, go ahead, Rick.
I think that yeah, you know, there's articles from 2012, 2011 of, you know, people making having issues with these brands, you know, having these names and having these, you know, quote unquote mascots. And so yeah, this is not a new issue. You can go back to 10 years ago, really, to see articles, almost 10 years ago, to see articles of why these are such a big issue and why they need to be changed. And I'm glad they're changing the names. And I'm glad they're getting rid of these just severely outdated pastimes of, you know, it's almost like a mockery of, you know, demand me and all that stuff, you know, that it needs to be done. And as far as, you know, Juneteenth, Donald Trump saying this is classic narcissism. He's the best at everything. He's the greatest at everything. He knows more than anybody. He makes everything famous. This is classic narcissistic behavior.
Right.
Guy is narcissistic. He's a narcissistic just buffoon and needs to be out of office.
Yes.
That's a great word for it.
That's what very well put. Very well put.
Yep.
I see.
Marcus?
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead, Marcus.
Okay, I'll keep it short. Man, look, I put it like this. We're still moving, we're taking baby steps, like Unc said, in causing 2 chains, but we're getting it right when the branding. When you see monuments erected of Confederate soldiers, and we knew what they stood for.
Right.
And they're coming down, that means the consciousness is saying no more. So now when we take the monuments down, we put them in the textbooks accurately. We talk about Black history and not just referring it to slaves and Dr. King. Throw A. Philip Randolph and Ida B. Wells in there. Throw everybody, Malcolm X in there. Come on now, let's make it real.
Right.
So as the monuments come down, put them in the textbook and let's rewrite history the right way and not the way that we think America should be. And as far as Trump, we all know he's not a president. He had nothing to know. He didn't know what Juneteenth was.
And
you know what I'm saying? He had no idea. And somebody put him on game and he had to stand up there and say whatever he had to say to make it right. And it's never going to be right what he says because it's not genuine and we don't believe him. He's fired in November, and that's the last word I got to say.
Mr. Watts, take us home when we end this thing. We end this thing on you.
So I think both of you guys is absolutely right. You got both of you guys is on point. Once again, nothing has changed as far as calling us jigaboos, as far as calling us mammies and aunties and Aunt your mamas and guys, these are not our phrase. This is not what we say. This is not what we call our elders. This is not
That's
what
right.
we call our ancestors. So yes, these are derogatory terms concerning us. These are the one, hey mammy, come and do this, mammy. That's where it's all stemming from. So am I glad that they removing these names? Absolutely. Because this is not what we sign on to. This is not our ancestors. We don't call it, we respect our ancestors. We have names. If you want to give her a name, call her by a real name. I heard one song say, "What's my name? Call me by my name." What's my name? What's my name? So the deal is, if you want to honor these people, you put their names on these bottles and put these names on their product. So, you know, enough said about that with me. Now, maybe Trump is right this time, guys. And the reason I say this is that a lot of white folks didn't know about Juneteenth.
That's true. Not black.
So maybe he's on to something. I mean, he didn't teach us anything. In fact, it was kind of insulting to us.
Yeah.
But if you really look at it, maybe he's on a maybe, out of 99% of the stuff that he say, maybe occasionally he get 1% right.
Right.
So he may be right. I think he put
If he did it, he did it indirectly.
yeah.
By accident.
So he put some people that didn't know about our national holiday on, put them on game. So now perhaps they know. And now that you know, if we know better, we do better.
Put some respect on these pancakes. I like that.
Mm.
I would say we also got to
Right on.
boycott Washington Redskins as well. That stuff is racist, man.
Man.
Get rid of the name. You don't need to be there.
We need to change
the Washington
I agree.
Redskins or something.
We have a cities need to be renamed like white settlement and hang a Negro.
Yep.
So much places. So
I will say this.
I'm glad to see it happening. I'm glad that it's not just us. Like we talked about in the beginning, we got a whole lot of young white folks out there in the streets with us, with y'all aiming out there. I've been watching. We got a whole, so it's a collective effort, and I think that's good. I think that's we're going in a good direction.
Right.
And that's all I got, y'all. We over time. I appreciate all y'all for coming on. We'll be back on Monday and talk a little bit more politics. This has been TFG Tonight. Y'all have a good night.
Love.
Peace.